Check 1 2, check 1 2. All right, all right. That's basically all I needed to see. So, got 3 minutes on the clock before we get it in. And I think we fixed something we needed to fix. Okay, for real? We on 1 minute and we got the first spam? Why, thank you. So 2.5 minutes, and yeah, I'll delete that in a sec. So what didn't work last time is working now. Not the way I'd like it to work yet, but we have computer audio and my audio. So at least I can kind of take you through whatever I'm working on. Last week we had the crazy echo problem, so that didn't work. And that's okay now. I'll check one more thing. Cool. I have to turn my mod settings on in order to be able to delete that. So that's good. All right. What up, Dalton? What up, the Mixed Chemist? Oh, let me not look at that screen. That is not a nice view. Let's take those out of the picture for a sec. Let me get my restream in here. Yeah, that's better. Let me quickly drag that. Even though I like to have the chat on the screen, it is all the way across this. Let me move that for a second. I need to see my restream again. There we are. Okay, let's see what's the chat for today. Can't read the bottom ones because the camera's in front of it. Let me give y'all my work view for a sec. It's kind of messy up in here, but yeah. Let me just hide this for a second. I haven't eaten yet. I'll do that in a second. Just make sure I don't drop my food. This camera right here, this one right here, it's kind of blocking my monitor. So I wanted to give some shout outs, but I can't see all of you yet. You know what? Let me get that countdown out. It's already time. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Bang. Okay. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. So let's do a little roll call here first before we get it in. Slimothy Scott in the building. DJ Vanilla Rice. What's going on? Alex Duke. Good to see all of you. Like I said, the Mixed Chemist, Dalton, DJ Uchiha from Michigan, and William Thomas. Salute to you. DJ Phase Out was good. And see, now I can't see that bottom part. Man, I mean, this is a good place for a camera, though. I mean, I like the angle right here, but I have to wait for that to come up because I saw something. Oh, there it is. Vanilla Rice. Salute to you, man, for the subscription. I appreciate that support. We got DJ Mini Ethan coming in from YouTube. So I see a lot of Facebook. I see some Twitch. YouTube is coming in as well. So let me just I'll mention this a couple of times. This is a new stream I'll be doing on Sundays, and it's gonna normally start earlier than this. I need to find a perfect time. I wanted to do it around 2 my time, CET, Central European time, but we'll see what time it will be in the near future. This is Pluggin in. That's the name that I have now, and basically I'm sharing my screen, showing you what I'm working on. So last week I wanted to show you how I edit my my podcast. Can't do that this week because I still have to record my podcast. So yes, I'm also going to upload my podcast later than normal. I'll get into all of that in a minute because I've been dealing with like a crazy technical issue here that is very important, and I haven't fixed it yet. But at least I have everything working now, so I can share the screen. That part worked, but also share my audio. So, for instance, if I now hit this, you're now going to hear something, and we're not getting crazy echo and static and all of that. So that's important. So yeah, I'm dealing with a major issue with Adobe Premiere. That's my video editing software, which has always served me well, and it's actually still currently working, except for one thing, and that happens to be the most important thing. I can do my entire edits. That works great. So yesterday I was editing my Saturday sessions video. Editing is no problem, but at the end of your editing session, when you want to actually save it as a video file, so you want to render your project and turn that whole project into a video file that you can then upload to, in this case, YouTube. Anytime I try to render, Adobe Premiere would crash, would stop, and it did that for like 40 times. And I've uninstalled, installed it again, uninstalled the media encoder, installed it again, did a clear CMOS on the computer. I haven't figured it out. And the tricky part is the same thing happened when I tried it on my laptop. The DJ laptop that I have, I can also use that for editing. It does the same thing. So there's a lot I have to test. I have to go through a couple of projects and see if there's a certain plugin that I'm using that might be causing the issue. I don't know. What I did to finally not fix the problem, but do a current solution is I copied the entire project and files, took that home, did Premiere. Let me get the camera back. I have Premiere on my old DJ laptop, an old Lenovo, which is hardly banging. It's hanging on for dear life. And I was able to render the project on that. So now I have the finished video. I'm uploading it. It's uploaded. I'm going to put it in public in about an hour or two, the new Saturday Sessions video on Sunday. It is what it is. But look, that's not the way it can work. That old laptop took over an hour and a half to render that video. If I do it on my studio computer, it's done within 5 minutes. So can't waste so much time on that. But I was working on that all night, and I had to sleep a couple hours. So everything is running late today. So normally this stream will happen a lot earlier. I'll record my podcast earlier. So what I want to do, I want to show you the beat I used for the Saturday Sessions video that's going live today. And I have nothing prepared. I'm just going to open up Maschine. I have Maschine open, and I can just show you Maschine. If you haven't seen Maschine before, you can see how Maschine works. And I can also show you my Adobe Premiere project where I edited the Saturday Sessions video. And that's it. So plugging in is going to be that. I'll share my screen. Sometimes I'm testing plugins. Sometimes I'm working. And so you can see that. Salute to Mr. F. Swift and DJ Royal. I see you. Also DJ Swift. So we got a couple of Swift. Oh, that's the same one. Wait. So DJ Swift on Twitch, but you're Mr. Swift or S Swift on YouTube. So you're tuning in on both. Okay. Brian Rich, what's going on? Your thoughts on Ableton Push 2 starting to get into production? Any tips? No. As far as Ableton goes, I have no tips, no suggestions yet. Because it is that time. Ableton has been on my list forever, and I definitely want to explore it because I think once I get the hang of it, I'm really going to like it. So I just got Ableton, and I'm going to be testing that in the very near future. I've always looked at it and stepped away from it because it was so different compared to other DAWs, but I don't know. I've seen people work with it. I think, like I said, once I get the hang of it, I might really, really, really like it. Yeah. So William Thomas, try using Pinnacle Studio Ultimate. Here's the thing. I don't just want to all of a sudden switch my video editing software just because something is not working now. I've been using Adobe Premiere for, I don't know, 5, 6 years, 7 years maybe. If I do switch, it's not going to be to Pinnacle. It's going to be to DaVinci Resolve. That's the only thing I do know. But no, for now, I need to get that problem fixed. I don't want to have to now switch to different software and find out how that works. First of all, I'm in the Adobe ecosphere. I really like their products. But hey, if I can't fix it, and I think I will at a certain point, I'll find a solution. Then I might have to look at other things. DJ Royal, I see you all the way from Germany. Well, not all the way, next door, basically. Did I miss anyone in here? But Ableton Push, so I don't have an opinion yet. I haven't looked into it. I do know that the Push is great for people who use Ableton Live for live performance functions. So the Mixed Chemist, yes. I mean, I've seen a lot of, there's a lot of footage. There's a lot of content online when it comes to Ableton, a lot of channels. But if I can't figure anything out, and actually maybe next week during the live stream, I'll do my first test. And any suggestions are definitely welcome. Ernest, what up? DJ Easy does it. So I'm going to step away from this chat for a second, and maybe I can just change a little something in here so that I don't have that chat all the way across Maschine. I don't like what it's doing there. I don't like how the chat is blocking your view of Maschine. So you can see Maschine in the background. I'm actually going to take myself, I can take myself out of the equation for a second. Hold up. No, I have to keep myself in here. I wanted to turn my my video capturing off, but my microphone is coming in through the video capture. So if I turn my own screen off, you won't hear me. I might just make that chat a little bit smaller. Hold up. Maybe we can do something like this. Let's make that window just a little bit smaller. Is it that big? Damn. Okay. So we can have the chat and have Maschine partially in there as well. So yeah, something like this. So we're not seeing my entire screen, but you get the gist of it. This is better. Otherwise, the chat is all across that. Okay. DJ Chair, T-Rare, my bad. What up? Or Tyreer, I don't know how to pronounce it. Rolando in the building. El Vato. I see all of you. What's good? All right. So this is Maschine by Native Instruments. You know what? I'm going to make my own screen a little bit smaller. Let me just make myself, let me take myself a little bit out of the equation. Or let me put myself here. Okay. And even smaller. It's not about my face right now. So when you see me ducking, I'm trying to look around my camera here. So there you have it. So let me make that just a little bit smaller. All right. So if you're not familiar with Maschine is software by Native Instruments. It's not really a digital audio workstation because it's not a real recording. Oh, Tyree, I got you. it's not like a DAW if you compare it to Logic or Cubase or Ableton or Studio One. It is production software. You can record in it, but that's not an optimal situation. But you can use this. The way I normally use it is as standalone software. So you could also use Maschine inside of your DAW and just open it like another virtual instrument and work it that way. But for the last, I don't know how many years, I was just using Maschine as a standalone piece of software. Now I use it in combination. Now I made myself smaller, so it's pretty small for you to see now, but you may have seen this device before. The one right here, this is Maschine by Native Instruments, the hardware, and this is basically a controller. So this allows me to control a lot of parameters of the software, and also when you record and you want to, for instance, do drums, you have your pads to do the drums. So okay, I have to assume you're hearing it. As far as I know, this was working, because that's the only problem. I can turn my headphones up a little bit, or my speakers. I can't hear the computer sound through my headphones because I'm not connected to that. So I can turn that around, basically. I know my voice is working. You know what? I could turn that around so I can actually hear what you hear on the computer. I don't have to hear my own voice. I already know that that's working. So let me just do that. It's weird to show you guys some stuff and know that you hear it, but that I can't hear it myself. So is that working? Headphones. Get the headphones up. Monitor down. Yeah. Okay. Got you. Okay, so that's my controller. My controller for the Maschine, the software. This is a beat. This is the beat I chose to use for this week's Saturday sessions video, going up in a couple of hours. And I can let you hear what I used for the Saturday sessions. I actually didn't use the entire beat. For my Saturday sessions, I select some of the beats that I have. Most of the times they're sketches and I haven't really worked them out yet. But let me move this so I can get out of the way. But what I tend to do for the Saturday sessions is to just take a portion. So in this case, if I bring a little bit more on screen, you can see that I have a bunch of different scenes here, and all of these scenes are a little bit different. So in some cases, the drum patterns could be different, or instruments are added. But I'll take a loop and use that loop for the Saturday sessions so that I can still, after that, continue to work on the beat, use it for another project, and use the total version for that. So this is what I use for the Saturday sessions. Got a couple of subtle changes in there, a couple more bars, and then it's just going to loop back to the beginning. And then it goes back to the beginning. So what I'm going to do now, just for a second, is I'm going to open that Restream chat on my iPad, so I don't have to look at the computer screen for that, if it's willing to work along with me. Sometimes it's working, sometimes it's not working, and I haven't figured out why. Thanks, Mixed Chemist. Kick this bot. Is there another bot? Jones, but you're on YouTube, right? I haven't seen another bot message here yet. There was one. I don't have YouTube open. I haven't seen that come by. Are we really that popular today that we're getting bots? Let's see. I don't see it. I don't see a second bot yet. Nope, not here. So Jones, let me know, is that happening on YouTube? You know what? Never mind this. It's not working. So yeah, that's the beat that I chose to use. Made that in Maschine. And yeah, I like it. Of course, I only choose stuff I like, and I can give you an example of some of the other things that are happening in the beat. So if you can look at the top right here, you can see this is highlighted, and that means that part will be repeated if I have loop selected, which I currently have. But in those blocks, it will tell you like this is pattern 4, pattern 1, pattern 2. In the next one, this one is pattern 2, that's one pattern 1, and there's extra sounds. I can play those in a minute, but let me just start with way Maschine works. Where's my restream? There we go. So within, hey, if Drake wants to jump on, I'm all for it, man. No doubt. Yes, it has that laid back vibe to it, but at the same time, it still has a bit of energy, a bit of power to it because of the drums. The kick drum has a nice little punch to it, so it's laid back. But I love the tempo for scratching. It's 87 BPM. I love anything in the upper 80s to mid 90s. I like that as a tempo for scratching. I like faster too. But within this tempo, you can remain very funky. Slower tempo is more difficult, and you end up a lot of times having to do like double time scratches, which I still have to master. So yeah, it is me staying in my comfort zone when I go for that type of BPM. But when it comes to Maschine, you can open all of these different groups. You can open a group. And within that group, so for instance, this is group 1, you can choose if you want to have like multiple instruments in there, or you can take entire kits. So in my case, this right here is just a kit. So it has all sorts of sounds in there. Let me actually show you from the top, then you can see when I'm using it. Some aren't short, some are actually longer samples, so you have to hold it. If I'm not mistaken, this is a DJ Khalil kit, actually, expansion pack. So a lot of times I don't make things too difficult when I start out. Not all, but most of the current beats I'm working on is oh, hold up, Jones, the restream bot is not spamming YouTube. It's actually just relaying messages from the other platforms, and probably my promo messages for my channel. I mean, I can open up YouTube to see if you're actually seeing something that I'm not seeing. But that is what it's supposed to do. Restream sends all of the chat messages from the different platforms to, but that is what it's, that's me. Let me just turn that off. All right, let me see. So yeah, that's what Restream bot is doing. So that's not spamming. So if you're watching on YouTube, you can see all of the conversation happening, not just what's in the chat on YouTube, but also what's happening on Twitch and on Facebook, on Periscope, you name it. So yes, you see a lot of Restream bot messages, but as you read behind it, you can see what it is. So no, that's staying on. I like for people to be able to see what's happening on the other platforms. So that's that. I think I just heard my. Oh no, it's still on. My GoPro has been tripping. It has. It's randomly changing settings. I can tell it just went into a wider mode than it was before, because now all of a sudden I'm seeing everything. I mean, it happens with older equipment. This is a GoPro Hero 5. I've had it for 100 years. So maybe it's at the end of its days. I hope not. I mean, I'm using this for all of my DJ streams, but otherwise it might be time for a new GoPro. All right, back to the topic. So you have your groups. This first group is a group with just drums in there. And let me go back to Maschine. And oh, thank you, Mixed Chemist, for posting it on IG. I appreciate that. The second one says keys. I don't think. Oh yeah, I used it later on. So that's just an instrument, and then you can use that instrument, play that instrument. The next one is also an instrument. And then we have on the pads, we have another total kit. And I used a couple of sounds from that. I think I used, yeah, that's the main sample. So as you may be able to see, the track in this case is called Reverse 2020. Now the 2020 has no meaning except for me being able to see if a beat is a newer or older beat. So a lot of beats, when I make sketches, I make them on my iPad on iMachine, which is a mobile version of this software, kind of limited version, but it helps you to set up sketches. I have older beats on there. At a certain point, I had so many different titles, and you just freestyle, think of names to name your beats. That was losing track. So I at least wanted to make sure I could tell, okay, this is a current beat if it had the 2020 in there. So anything I make now will have 2021 in the title, in the beginning of or the end. The reason it's called Reverse is simply because I have a bunch of the main sample in here is actually a couple of stabs that have been reversed. I like using, not in all my beats, but in a lot of my beats, I like using sounds that have something in there that's reversed. All right, so if you can see here, you can select group, sound, or master. This is basically where you can add your effects to it. So in my case, I don't have an effect on individual sounds in this group, but I do have an effect on the entire group. And that's because all of the sounds in this group together make up the main sample. So I can just solo that for a second. So I wanted to make sure that, in this case, the EQ was working on all of the sounds. So instead of going to each individual sound and adding that EQ, you just go to the group and add it there. It's basically the same thing as making a special bus and applying the effect to the bus and then routing all of the samples to that bus. In this case, I'm doing it this way, but it's a similar thing. And basically the EQ is a mag EQ that's adding just basically a little bit of low end to it because I thought it was a little bit too thin. Let the sample end. It was a little bit too thin, so I added some low, some sub, some low mid as well, and I think like a very little bit of the air channel that's on this mag EQ, which does add some high frequencies. Not that much though, it's just a subtle thing. I see that there's also a filter, but I didn't end up using it. Let me check for a second what that does. Yeah, I wanted to see what would happen if I would apply that low pass filter, because there's a lot of crackles in that beat, in that sample, and I wanted to see what would happen if I would add that filter. It definitely reduced the crackle, but it also took all the life out of the sample. It became really dull, so I never ended up using that. Now the samples, those individual stabs right here, we can take a look at those like this. So when I play this, you can actually see it's going from right to left, and that's because it's in reverse. If I flip this, let me see, where is it? The normal sound was, no, that's not it. I gotta see what I'm doing. thought I could let you hear. I see the change, but I don't hear it. And that is 14. Okay, it's not doing it. It's still playing it in reverse. Anyways, I like what playing certain sounds in reverse does. I mean, first off, it changes the sound so it doesn't sound exactly like the original sample, even though the samples in those expansion packs are royalty free. You can use them in commercial productions. I still prefer to manipulate a sample to make it sound at least a little bit different. So if you know the original samples, even if you reverse it, you'll probably be able to catch the vibe and hear what it is. But then again, for a lot of people, if you reverse something, it does change it enough so people won't recognize it as easy. But I like the sort of sucking, pulling type of effect that a reverse sound can have. It does give a different vibe to it, and in this case, it really added to the flavor that I wanted to bring to it. Valley Cats, what's going on? Eli Purr, Official Fresh Prince, I see all of you, and DJ Magnanimous. I'm messing up your name. But salute to you for following, though. I'm going to practice tonight on those names. So basically, that's that. I reversed those sounds and came up with a combination of those sounds that kind of worked for me. Those are the sounds, and I think it's and the high one. So I do that a lot when I find like chopped up samples in there. I play around with combinations and try to find a pattern I like. Now in this case, I reversed it and then found a pattern I liked and ended up with this. And it changes throughout, so it doesn't stay just like this. Let me make this a little bit. And then it goes back. So that is that gives the sample its main vibe. And then of course you have, well, not always the most important part, but a lot of times the most important part, the drums. And in this case, you can tell that it's not a short piece. A lot of times when I make beats, especially when I make sketches, I'll do like 4 bars. Just do a 4-bar pattern. Sometimes even shorter, but a lot of times I'll take a 4-bar pattern and repeat that, and then I'll do changes later on. Like when you're first making a beat, having all sorts of arrangements is not the most important thing yet. You want to have just the skeleton ready. So I'll come up with 4 bars of a pattern, 4 bars of the main sample, and then work from that. In this case, and I made this beat a while ago, so I don't remember the thought process behind this, but this is a 16-bar part of drums. And I think the reason behind that was I might have started out with 4 bars, and when the beat was a little bit further, I decided to make this 16 bars. So I copied the 4 bars, so you have 4 parts that are the same. And then I started to make subtle changes, take a couple of kicks out, add a kick. I think when I first made the beat, the entire pattern was just nonstop double snares. So you hear a couple of those double snares, the ta, ka. I think when I first made the drums, it was just boom, ta, ka, 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 ka. The double snares were there constantly. Sometimes that works, and I think in this case, I thought it just added too much. I wanted to have a little more laid backness in there, And then what I do is I sometimes I'll copy, and then like the top one here, that's the kick, and then I'll just start to take a couple out or add a couple, and I'll do the same thing to the snare, and just come up with a couple different patterns. Now, it's not the most important thing, because at the end of the day, if an artist uses a beat and they're going to record, that's when it makes most sense to really do certain smaller arrangement adjustments, because once they record and you hear the vocals, it gives you a better idea of, hey, it will be good to do like a dropout here because there's something significant being said, or something is being sang in a way that makes a lot of sense to take something out, or at a certain point maybe add something extra. So sometimes I go overboard and I actually do too much in advance, and sometimes I'll keep it super basic, and once it goes to an artist, then I do an arrangement, even though sometimes that backfired and we were on a tight schedule, and I ended up not really being able to do much arranging. And then on that song, the drums basically stayed the same throughout the entire track. It didn't matter. The track was still dope. I love the end result of the track. But in a perfect scenario, I would like to have like the opportunity to still do some arrangement changes after an artist has recorded. All right, so we got the kick, the drums right there. We have the main sample right there. That basically is the entire vibe right there. The sample gives you the vibe. The drums give you that rhythm you need. But basically what was missing now is some more low frequency, something to add some warmth. And in certain cases, you could choose to take that main sample and use that main sample, throw it through all sorts of EQs to add a lot of low end and give that a lot more bass. You could do that, or you could leave the sound the way it is. That's what I did here. But then you have to add an element that adds some more of that low end. So I found this right here, this subprism, which is a bass sound, even though I'm hitting it in a higher key. But that is, let me solo it. That is this sound right here. Super basic. It's basically playing along in a key to assist that main sample. So I kind of changed that sound a bit. I'll let you hear in a minute. But I'll just add that sample so you can hear them together. So now you have that extra warmth in there. So if I take it out again, you hear how thin it sounds now, right? So having that bass in there really gives it that little extra. So this is the sound I ended up with. I experimented with a couple of things to see what happens. So right now I have basement working on it. If I take that out, this is how it first sounded, which worked as well. It was cool. It still added some low end, but with basement, I did just turn it into like a bit of a stronger, deeper sounding low end. So this without, and this is with. Just more powerful. Even though it's still pretty subtle, it's not like what you do, what a lot of times will happen with production, especially if you're not using like a bass, but like with 808s as the low end, people will go all out. That's not gonna work for this track. So I wanted to have like a normal bass just to add that subtle warmth. And I like what Basement does. I haven't experimented with this plugin a lot yet. It's not that old. It's a newer plugin from Pluggin Alliance, and I'm currently using their, or I got it from Pluggin Alliance. It's called Unfiltered Audio is the company, and the plugin is called Basement. And I have a Pluggin Alliance subscription right now. paying a monthly subscription to use all of their, oh, the camera's off again, my bad. Using their monthly subscription, which allows you to use all of their plugins, so I can experiment and see which plugins I really like. And I haven't experimented a lot with this one yet, with Basement. Daniel says, do you always use the Maschine software, or do you use Ableton or Logic to add more effects and elements to the track? So I've used Cubase for a long time. I have Studio One right now, and I just got Ableton because I really want to explore it. There's something about it that I think I'm really gonna like as maybe my standard workhorse for production. But we'll have to see. I'm really gonna have to figure it out first. What I will do sometimes, and I'm experimenting with that now with Studio One, is use Maschine as basically a virtual instrument in Studio One, and then I can add more instruments to it. Now the thing is, you can do a lot of that inside Maschine as well. So I'll show you that. Harvey, what up, man? Alles goed? I'll show you that as well. Fazil, I see you. Hey, do you still got those CDs? Which CDs are you talking about? Let me know. Let me know which CDs. But let me show you. So for instance, because Maschine is not like, if you look at the device kind of looks like it's a drum machine because of the pads and everything. And it allows you to control the software. And you could also use this to play melodies, even though that doesn't work great on pads. That's why I now finally have a MIDI keyboard again. In this case, it's the M33, also Native Instruments. Just kept it in the family with this one. I mean, there's plenty of great MIDI keyboards out there. I just really like what Native Instruments does, and I know how their hardware and software works together. So this is what I can use for melodies, even though I have no playing skills whatsoever. But if I want to practice that, that doesn't really work well on pads. That's going to work a lot better if you have an actual keyboard there. So in Maschine, so for instance, these are just plugins to manipulate the sound, of course. But if we're, for instance, if I open this up, I can add a new group, and it's not just about all of the expansion packs and samples. You also have all of your instruments here. So I can go in here and I can use Contact and add anything from Contact, or I can use a battery if I want to do different drums. But then you also have a lot of virtual instruments you can use in there, like an Absinthe or an FM8. You got Massive in here, which has a ton of sounds in there as well. So there's a lot you can do within Maschine. There's a lot of elements you can add. And again, I like Native Instruments. They have a bunch, like a lot of instruments in there. So I'm using their bundle a lot, but I still have to explore most of what they have. But whenever I think of something, like a lot of that can be found in here, and whatever I find. So for instance, if I want to do something with Cloud Supply, I can go in here in Cloud Supply. Now let's say I want to have like some piano and keys. I can go in here. This will let me hear what it is. But whatever I choose, if I place this here, I now have full control over this. I can put it in keyboard mode, and then, but like I said, you want to do that on a keyboard, but you have everything in here. You can change all the parameters. So there's a lot you can do just within Maschine. And then when it comes to just manipulating the sound, like you can put a bunch of plugins in here as well to manipulate your sound. So for instance, I can go in here and I got all the Plugin Alliance stuff right here ready to go, or some Valhalla stuff, or my Isotope, Wave stuff, you name it. The only thing that doesn't open is Universal Audio. I don't know if there's a reason for that, because I have my audio interface, my Universal Audio interface, which also came with plugins, but it's not showing in Maschine yet. But yeah, I don't really need it right now because there's a ton in there. So Harvey, I hope you just saw you cannot only use Native's own VSTs. You should be able to use a bunch of others in there as well. Same way you just saw that I could open, for instance, all of the plugin aligned stuff. I can also use all of the waves stuff in there as well. So yes. Do you think everything will go back to normal after corona vaccine? And what are your thoughts on a vaccine passport to be able to go to restaurants, concerts, etc.? That's what they're doing in Denmark. Okay, we're not at that level yet here. I mean, they just started to vaccinate not that long ago. But once you get it, it would be good if there's like some sort of documentation that you can actually show that you are vaccinated. Yeah, I mean, things going back to normal. Yeah, at a certain point, it will go back to normal for the most. But I do believe that during this last period, a lot of people have discovered that there's a lot of things you can do in alternative ways. So for instance, when it comes to meetings, I know for a fact with a lot of companies, they're not going to have the same amount of in-person meetings that take up a lot of time. They will definitely do a combo of some meetings being in person and some just being over Zoom or Google Meet or whatever they want to use. But I know that there are companies already that have decided that from now on, only half of the workforce will work in the building and the rest will work from home, meaning that a lot of companies can scale down the size of their actual buildings and cut costs that way. And same thing with parties. We'll have to see. I mean, of course, it's going to take time. It's not like we're going to go from no parties to all of a sudden everyone going back to like festivals with like 10,000 people. That's going to take time. And maybe people are now finding that there's alternative ways that are more comfortable, like smaller events or events with DJs streaming while the people are at one place. I don't know. But we will go back to a version of what we were used to, of course. Mark says the vaccine passports ruled out in the UK. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Like, let's just start here. The vaccinations will take up a bunch of time. Like, for instance, for here in the Netherlands, I know it's going to be at least until the summer or after the summer when we get to a point where enough people have been vaccinated. So that's going to take time. So a lot of people are just in a rush. I'm not approaching it that way. I just keep a level head and know that this will take a lot of time. But we'll see. We'll see. So that's basically the meat and potatoes of this beat, or at least the loop that I used for the Saturday sessions. Just that part. Drums, bass, and the sample. Now, if I go a little bit further, now here you have, this is not, I'm not keeping this is an experiment, but you hear like an extra layer in there. And here, let's see. Just playing around with some instruments to see how I could add some possible extra layers. But we'll see. And the same thing kind of applies here. And this is just an experiment. Still working on this to see if I can have like a creepy underlayer that might appear like later on in the track. I made this with Kinetic Toys, also a Native Instruments thing, but I'm still figuring out what I want to do with that. Added a bunch of effects to it because it sounded like this first. Oh, that's not true. It sounded like this. Then I added some Valhalla and Isotope's vinyl effect, which I really like, which can really change the sound up. It sounded like this, but you can take it all the way back to 1930. You can add more dust, add more warp, which changes up the sound. Kind of gives it a little bit of that lo-fi effect. But I don't know, like all of those are still just experiments. But I just know that I will try out a bunch of things with this beat before I either release it as like a full instrumental or maybe someone does something with it. We'll see. But for the Saturday sessions, that's not important. I just need to have like a nice loop that will work because the Saturday sessions are all about the interactive scratching. So it's not like you're going to sit there or stand there behind your DJ equipment, hear that instrumental, do scratches back and forth with me, and at the same time sit there and be like, hey, why aren't there more drum changes in this beat? That's not that important when you're just doing your scratch practice. They predict we will be back to normal in 5-6 months. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's going to be summer or after the summer in a lot of places. Rico Steez, what up? A10 Mini question. MIC, not you again, man. The price of the Pro is quite steep. Would you consider the A10 Mini instead of just using OBS? So, here. What is my GoPro doing? I just heard it beep again. Look, look, look. It just went into a different mode again. It just went into linear from super wide, all on its own. Right, whatever. Now look, for me, and let me get it back actually. The A10 Mini is right there. That's my video switcher for people who don't know. I'm totally in love with the Pro for the simple fact that it is my backup device. So what I mean by that, and you know this already, like you can broadcast straight from the device, even though I'm not using it that way. So for now, it's a video switcher, and it is just my capture device. So the camera and the overhead camera and this microphone are all going in there, and that's connected via USB to the studio computer. But if that computer would stop now, I can press the little on-air button, and then I'm back to broadcasting straight away. That's just my fail-safe. So that's why I love this device. But it's not necessary. It's not absolutely necessary. So if you just need a video switcher for streaming, this is amazing right here. This is what you need. Sorry, the normal version is plenty because you can switch between your screens. I'm not sure about this though. I just thought of that. I do believe that the normal Mini doesn't have the multi-view. I'm not 100% sure. So I have the multi-view, and if you're not familiar with the multi-view, that is, let me just twist. No, I can probably, can I grab this? Can I get this in the frame? Just wanted to show y'all for those who don't know. Yeah. Okay, so I'm pretty small right now, so you might not be able to totally see. Let me do a bit of, there we are. Okay. So you can see part of it. You can see part of it right here. The A10 Mini Pro has HDMI out that you can send to a monitor. And then you have a full screen showing you, like I only have 2 cameras on now, but it can show you all of your different camera angles. If you have more, it can also show you, like right now, I'm not streaming from the device, but normally if I'm streaming from the device, it will show me my rate, and it will show me, it already says restream.io. So right now I'm streaming on OBS to Restream. If my computer dies, the device is already set to Restream. It will go, and it will show me a lot of info. You can't see the entire screen, but I have the audio visuals there as well, like the parameters. So it shows me everything. I can have this view, or I can just see the camera that I'm currently on. But I can see like my GoPro, and I can see what's happening everywhere. So especially if you're on like, let's say 3 cameras, it is pretty comfortable to have that in there as well. So I'm not sure if the normal Mini has that, but still the most important thing remains that I can broadcast from it. But if you're not looking for that backup, then yes, there is a major price difference between the Mini and the Pro. Mo Berry, what up? I see you. What's good? What's good? What's good? What's going on here? Delays with the A10 Mini. I did have a little audio delay with one camera when I was using it, and there was like a delay in the audio, and there's a way to fix that within the software. So you can, it's connected to your computer. So you can go into the control software for the A10 Mini, and it has, I forgot where it is. There's like an adjustment to basically set that audio offset to make it sync with the screen again. That's also a thing with this one, because it has the the Ethernet port that is connected, so it has the internet connection. So if I need to stream, I can stream, but it also means that it is connected to the network. So I can just take the studio computer, open the ATEM Mini software, and it will see that device. Even though there's no USB connection to the device, it can see it then and know because of the Ethernet connection. Now, in my case, I have USB connected to OBS, but even when I'm doing my live streams, mixed live streams, in that case, I can still take any computer and connect to the ATEM Mini Pro. Okay. Biggest advantage of the Mini over something like Elgato Stream Deck. Those are two totally different devices. An Elgato Stream Deck is something you use to control elements within some software, most of your software and some hardware. It allows you to switch screens in OBS, but it's not a video switcher. Or am I saying something crazy? No, the Stream Deck is just that, right? You don't connect it, your cameras to it, right? A Mixed Chemist, salute to you, man. Yeah, man, I mean, I'm not heading out, but I have that planned for tonight as well. So you can also watch the replay. This will be on Facebook, YouTube, and Periscope, Twitch. I can hear my GoPro beeping again. So that's also the thing with the multi-view. I can see on the other screen that is switched views again. Look, now we're back to the ultra wide angle. So I don't know what happens, what's happening to my GoPro. Sven, what's going on? Good to see you. So back to Maschine. There's something. Let me get this one back. Yeah, I just needed to know if the stream was working, but the stream is working. What's going on here? So I don't have to leave that on. I believe you. You're working. Let's get that out. All right. So that's it for Maschine, basically. I don't think there's much else to show. Yes. MIC, you could do that with your Stream Deck. 100%. Even though with the ATEM Mini Pro, there are a lot of options that I haven't even explored yet, because you can set a lot of macros. And if you set those macros within the software, a touch of one button can do multiple things. And it can also not just give you picture-in-picture, but you can set the different sizes and make like a split screen with equal sizes. You can do all sorts of things in there as well. And if you have those macros set, then you can use a lot of the buttons to make those things work as well. But you're not controlling anything in OBS from your ATEM Mini. That's a fact. All right, so that's Maschine for now. The beat I was working on. What is happening here? Whoa, what is happening here? I don't know how and when that happened. Hey, why do we have a double screen going on? Wait a minute. So let me turn Maschine off for a second because we don't need it right now. Next up, we have Adobe Premiere. My biggest nemesis right now because of the fact that it's not letting me render, which is a damn shame, and really causing me issues. While the rest is working, the rest of the software is working just fine. So let me get a little more in the screen, and let me get my ugly mug out of the way. So I'm going to place myself under. I'll place myself under that stream. That's okay. I just want to be out of the way of my Adobe Premiere, so you can see it. So if you're not familiar with Adobe Premiere, okay, that happens. Got you. Let's make it a little bit bigger. Is that okay? Yeah. This is my video editing software by Adobe. It's called Adobe Premiere. It is my preferred software and has been for a bunch of years. Before that, I was using Sony Vegas. And at a certain point, I switched computers, and Sony Vegas was only for Windows. At that time, I moved to Apple products, so I had to find different software. Now, at that point, of course, you also had Final Cut, and Final Cut at that point, I think, just reached a point where their newer versions weren't as pro as the versions before that. That was the general consensus at the time, and I was looking into Adobe Premiere as well. Really liked what I saw there and went with that. But there's a bunch of others that will work just as well or might even work better for you. But this works for me. Now, what you see here is a bunch of different layers. The layers at the bottom, so everything in the green, that's all audio. The layers right here, the blue ones are video, and the pink ones are either images, text, or in this case, an adjustment layer. And I'll explain what that is in a minute. And let's just do a quick test. If everything is working, you should be able to hear this.
What's going on? It's your boy DJ TLM. Welcome to DJ TLM TV, and welcome to a new edition of the Saturday Sessions, my interactive scratch session. I'm gonna play a beat and I'll start scratching for 4 bars. Then I stop and it's your turn to scratch 4 bars. Then it's my turn again and we do a back-to-back scratch session. This is all for practice purposes and you can choose to do it however you want to do it. So you can either emulate
blah, 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 blah. That's just the intro part, of course. And that is what you hear there is you see my video, of course, that is shot with my main camera. That's my GH4. If you look right there, that little black thing that you see right there, that is a lapel mic, my lavalier, Rode lavalier microphone. That is the microphone that is actually capturing my audio, because if I use the audio from the camera, and I can't let you hear it because I already deleted that, that won't sound as great because I'm not that close to the camera. So even if I have a good microphone on top of that camera, it's not going to get great audio. I have a good video camera that I can use, a shotgun microphone, a video mic that I can use. But if you're like, let's say this is a distance of probably something like 6 feet. At that distance, you're going to introduce a lot of reverb because of all the everything happening in the room, and your voice, when it makes its way to that microphone, it's going to add a lot of reverb. So you want to have a microphone that's a lot closer. So having that little lavalier mic will ensure that even if I move or step forward or backwards, you're going to get the same type of audio. So you record that separately. So that little microphone is connected to a portable recorder that I have in my pocket, and that records my audio. So once I've shot that video and once I've recorded that audio, I will then, and okay, the GoPro just turned off. I'll then take that audio, take that video, and import it into the computer. And then I will add this good audio to the image that you see here. So normally when I import it, you'll still hear the audio from the camera, which doesn't sound very good. But I use that audio to take the new audio from that little microphone, and I'll just sync that with the audio from the camera. Once it's synced, and I can just look at the screen and see like, okay, the audio is definitely in sync with my mouth. Then I'll delete the audio from the camera, the bad audio, and then you end up with just that clean or a lot cleaner sounding mic.
my scratches, do what I do. Do your own scratches, come up with your own patterns, do a combination of everything.
There's still a little reverb in there, and I think that's a good thing because if you eliminate every bit of reverb, it actually becomes a bit unnatural. That sounds kind of cool if you're like on the radio, you hear that thick compressed voice. But in this case, when you see someone standing in a room, having a little bit of reverb actually makes it sound more natural than having something that's totally squeaky clean. My opinion, I mean, you can disagree with that for sure, but that's what I like. So that is that element. Then underneath you have the audio. right here. That's the beat that we just heard. Only I'm playing it at a low volume because I don't want it to be much louder than my or louder than my speaking voice. It actually has to be a lot more quiet. It's just a little bit of background. And once my intro ends, then I start to increase the volume to take it to the actual level that we're going to use during the scratch session. So you can actually see here, if I zoom in. Sorry for moving my head all the time. It is because of that camera. It is covering part of my screen. I have to find a solution for that because I like to have this camera right here. But this is a bit annoying. Oh, wait, I can do... Oh, yeah, I can do this here. Yeah. Okay, so as you can see right here, I just added these markers, and now from the low volume, as I finish my intro talk, the volume will start to increase until it reaches that level. Now, on top of that, normally you would see an intro, but I just removed a hard drive, and that hard drive holds that file. Doesn't matter, I've already finished the video, but right now you're not going to see that intro that you would normally see. But once I stop talking, you can hear the audio now become louder. So, oh, my bad. Boom.
I'm ready. If you're ready, let's start right now. Let's have some fun.
Here it goes. Bang. And now we're at the performance volume level. Right, so what you saw there is another angle. So this is a second camera. This is actually the same camera that I'm using here for the live stream. And yeah, I just like to add angles, even though with these scratch sessions, the most important angle for me is the top angle that we'll get to in a second, the GoPro angle, because whenever I do my live streams or I do these sessions, I want the audience, you, if you're watching that content, to be able to have a clear view. A lot of times when you see DJ performance videos and you're seeing them from the front, you can still kind of see what they're doing. If you're a little bit more advanced and you already know techniques, you can probably see and hear what a DJ is doing. But especially if you're not at that level yet, you want to have that close-up view, that first-person view that can show you like, okay, this is what the DJ is doing. So I'll introduce little shots like this every once in a while just to break it up, because otherwise you're going to have like 8 minutes of straight GoPro from the top footage. And especially with this type of session where I'm scratching for 4 bars and then I stop. If every time I stop, you just have 4 bars of looking at 2 turntables, I mean, it's not the worst thing in the world. You're not watching this video just to watch. You're most likely watching that video to scratch. But I like to have a little bit of life in there. So this is a secondary angle. I even had a 4th angle. So I had the front angle, the top angle that you're going to see in a minute, this side angle, and I also placed my phone on the table, and I had Filmic Pro ready, and it was recording in a special angle and resolution, but somehow that recording failed. Hey, these things can happen. Luckily, I have plenty of angles going, so I didn't miss it at the end. It was probably overkill anyway, but I was doing 4 angles. So this is the side angle. You can still see the entire setup, so it cuts off my head, but that's not the important part right here. So you can see my hand movement, and you can even see my fader movement. So for that purpose, it could work. But anytime I go to the actual techniques, the scratching, it goes to this top view, because this is the angle I want you to be able to see. I want you to be able to just look at the screen and see exactly what I'm doing. Eric, the lapel mic I'm using is the Rode Lavalier. I think that is actually the name. So it's by Rode. That's I use Rode for a lot of my microphones. Same thing here. The pod mic is Rode as well. The microphone I was talking about that's on my GH4 is the Video Mic Pro. It's also Rode. So I'm basically all in the Rode family. So if I'm not mistaken, I'll actually look that up for you in a second. It is called the Rode lavalier mic. Let's get that cam back. Yeah. But just to be safe, I'll look it up in a second. But if you take a look at their website, the Rode website, you'll find their lavalier mic right there. So this is that angle. This is the educational part, and that's why I love doing this for the live stream as well. Not only does it kind of set me apart from a lot of DJs live streaming, because not a lot of DJs give you that top angle, but it is because of the educational purpose. I want people who want to learn how to DJ to actually be able to take a close look like this to see what I'm doing. And I think this is the best angle. And I had to learn that. When I take a look at the scratch tutorials I made for YouTube, and those tutorials have helped a lot of people, like thousands of people. And the content is still good. But the one thing that bothered me a little bit later when I started to look at that footage is a lot of times when I showed scratches, I did it from the opposite angle. So it basically looked like you were looking at me DJing instead of seeing it from my perspective, which is much better, which is more like a DJ standing next to you and showing you instead of standing across from you. But hey, that is the top angle right there. Now you can see if I scroll down here, you can see this is the music, the beat, and right here at the bottom, separately, I recorded the scratches. I don't always do that. So for instance, the Saturday sessions from 2 weeks ago, episode 1 for this year, that was just recorded with me recording what came out of the mixer, and I had the beat playing from the mixer and the scratches were coming into the mixer as well. So everything was on the DJ set. That works okay. You just have to be very sure about your level. So sometimes I recorded scratch sessions and afterwards I heard the scratches and I was like, scratches are a little bit too loud. Now, if you record what you're doing live from one device, so the beat on one turntable or on one channel of the mixer, your scratches on the other channel, you can't fix that after the fact. You're going to have that balance. So in this case, the beat was just playing from Maschine, from the computer, and I had it on the speakers, and I recorded the scratches on the mixer. So I have a separate channel for the scratches, and that will allow me to, after the fact, change the volume if I want to, change the sound if I want to. So I can even add effects to the sound that I'm scratching. So if I want to change the EQ, if I want to take out a little more low end, which I did because I didn't do that in advance, or maybe add a little reverb, I can do that after I record it. DJ Nene, what's going on? So yeah, I like that, but I won't always do that. Sometimes it's just a lot easier to have everything going on just on the decks with no extra recording. In this case, the scratches are just separate. So yeah, I liked having that. Now, again, once I finish with that pattern, you can see just for a second, I give you that front view. So it just adds a little bit of life to such a video. Now, if you look closely right there, you can see the iPhone right there. That was going to be like a close recording of just the turntable, and you would just catch the turntable, the vinyl actually, and the fader. So that was the entire frame. The frame stopped right after the fader and right after the middle. It was a nice shot, but hey, it failed. So you get a couple of seconds of that, and a couple of seconds of that, and then it goes back to that top view. And then we go back to some scratches. All right, so that's basically what is happening when I'm doing a shoot like this. I recorded, and that happens a lot, I recorded way too many scratches. So I had probably, and time just flies, I probably did like 22 minutes of scratching. And I could have used most of them, but that would just be a way too long video. So now my scratch videos, Saturday sessions videos, are around the 10-minute mark. That's including an intro and an outro. So you're getting about 7 to 8 minutes of scratching. I do think that's better to have it a little bit longer. I did Saturday sessions in the past where I was just I just did like a 3-minute video. I thought that's just a little bit too short, especially if you're doing this as a practice purpose. You want to get the chance to actually get into a little bit of a rhythm and a vibe before you have to rewind or play the video back from the beginning again. So yeah, I made it a little bit longer. I just had to do a selection. So it's more work for me when I record so many scratches, because after the fact, I have to eliminate a bunch of them. But yeah, that's what I did. So I picked out the ones that I liked most or made most sense to keep it, give it a nice variety. Mixology, what up? But yeah, that just, it happens. When you're in a flow, that beat was on loop. So you can keep scratching forever. And but it's fun to do. All right, so the only thing I can show here, basically after I'm done, so once you get to the final scratches, after that you can see that I again changed a lot in the volume. So you have one more set right here. And then the volume of the beat is going to go down in a few seconds. 4 bars are over.
All right, so that's it for this edition of the Saturday Sessions.
And then the volume goes down again because I start speaking again. Beyond that, so the top one is an image. That's basically just that an empty or transparent template with my logo right there. And right here, this one, the adjustment layer. Adjustment layers are handy or convenient when you want to add the same effect to multiple clips. So in this case, I have a bunch of video files, clips, all from the GH4. Instead of going to, now of course they're chopped up more, but these were like 4 or 5 different files. Instead of having to add a certain effect to each and every one separately, if I put an adjustment layer on top of it and I put the effect in here, the effect will then apply to all of those. That's one way you can do it. There's different ways, but in this case, that's what I used. And the layer or the effect that I use most of the times is Film Convert. And Film Convert basically has a bunch of different settings to change the look of your video. So if I turn this off, the adjustment layer, let's take a look at the video. This is how the video normally looks. This is definitely not bad. It is it works perfectly fine to look at, but it is shot in a flat profile. So there's it just doesn't have the contrast and color you like to see. It's a little bit flat, but that allows you to do a lot afterwards. Now, I didn't do anything crazy, but if you take a look when I turn it on, you see that it adds a layer to it. That just makes it look a lot better. Not going to go all the way into it, but you change a lot of things in there. You tell Film Convert what kind of camera you're using and what profile you use to shoot. And then you can change the film look. You can change if you want to add grain. You can change the exposure, the temperature. You can change a bunch of things in here. And yeah, this is a look that I kind of liked for this one. Nothing too crazy, but of course, this looks better than this. Now, the video that's coming out, this video, so if you missed the beginning of the stream, I'm going through all sorts of issues with Adobe Premiere. Not when it comes to the editing, that works perfectly fine, but I can't render my video, so I can't export the final project into a video file on 2 computers. I don't know what's happening. I was able to take the entire project to a very old laptop, that did the rendering. But for instance, I don't have Film Convert on that computer. So I had to, instead of using all these effects, I had to just apply a bit of contrast so it won't look the same as this. And then there's the audio. When I go to the audio for this project, I've also done quite a few things to this. Just real quick, jump starter. I tried that, and the problem is Media Encoder is doing the same thing. It's not working. So that was my thoughts. Like, okay, I don't know what's happening here. Let me just go to Media Encoder and do it from there. No. So with Adobe Premiere, like I said, I can do everything editing-wise, change everything. Playback is perfect, nothing going on. As soon as I render, it starts by doing the audio. That takes a second. And as soon as it's supposed to start rendering the video, it just stays at 0, closes Adobe, and asks if I want to send this crash message, which I've done like 40 times. I've uninstalled Adobe Premiere, the Media Encoder, installed them again, cleared my CMOS. I tried all sorts of things. I have no idea. So I have to do tomorrow, because I'm not going to do it tonight. Tomorrow I have to do like an entire run through and one by one turn off every type of plugin and effect that I have going on in here to see if that's affecting it. But the problem is, or the thing is, it has worked for me now at home on this dusty old Lenovo laptop that can hardly handle Premiere. Took over an hour and a half to render this, and this computer does it in 5 minutes, but that actually rendered it. So that is even more confusing to me. It didn't work on the studio computer. It didn't work on my DJ computer, the laptop, but it did work on that very old computer. And it only started like 3 days ago. Before that, I've been rendering like crazy. Everything was perfectly fine. So I haven't figured it out yet. But what I wanted to say, in the audio section, I do some work when it comes to the audio, especially my voice when I'm speaking. So I use Isotope a lot for this because they have great effects to restore or repair audio. Not that my voice needed actual repair, but it does some things very nicely. So for instance, they have their RX breath control. And if you play my voice...
What's going on? It's your boy DJ TLM. Welcome to DJ TLM TV, and welcome to a new edition of the...
This one's actually not that hectic. You hear that? All of those those are the breath you take in between words or sentences. This one will target that, and you can either set it to totally delete it or lower the volume of the breath. So every time you hear that, that's all being taken out.
The beat for free and practice by yourself. The link is in the description box.
Now, to be honest, it's not that bad with this microphone. But for instance, when I do a podcast with a microphone like this and you do it in close proximity, you're going to catch a lot of the breath. You don't hear it now, but you're going to catch a lot of that. And mouth sounds. You're going to catch the mouth sounds. Now, Isotope has something for that as well, which is actually called mouth declick. And when you play my vocal again, it's probably not going to be as bad with the lavalier microphone because it's there, so it's a little lower. It's not right in front of your mouth. But let's play my voice.
What's going on? It's your boy DJ TLM. Welcome to DJ TLM TV.
Let's see. Very small in this case. But you can tell when you look at it, it has repaired 14 clicks, 18 clicks, but they're small. They're not that great. That's a bigger one. Now, it's not the greatest example. If I let you hear...
thing is all good. It's all about...
If you hear a podcast recording, when I'm recording through a mic like this, that is different. Then there's a lot more going on. Did I just hear my GoPro again? That thing is still bugging. Like, it's not showing a screen. I'm getting the black screen on the GoPro, but I can see that it's still on. Let me just turn that all the way off and on again. And now let's turn it on again. Does it even want to turn on again? GoPro Hero 5. I mean, this thing has been through a lot. It's been a lot of places, seen a lot of countries, but it is kind of tripping balls right now. There we go. It's still there, but it's kind of going crazy. All right. So a couple more things that I have on there. I actually have a little bit too much on my vocal here. I have the Better Maker EQ, which is not. I don't really use it a lot for vocals. I just love what it does. I like the sound of it. And I did a little bit of compression with Neutron, but not a lot. And just added like a high pass in this one, but this one I'm still figuring out. To be honest with you, I did not need to add all of these, but I'm currently in the experimental phase where I want to try out as many of my plugins. So every now and then, even though I already have EQ in Adobe, I'll open up a bunch of the other plugins and experiment with them. Looking back at this is actually kind of ridiculous what I did here. This doesn't make a lot of sense. But like I said, I was on an experimental phase, and I'm going to do a lot of that. And like for small little intro talks in a video, I don't mind if the audio sounds a little bit different every time, but I need to work with plugins in order to find out how they work. Same thing with let's see, I have the master. On the master, I basically just have a limiter to make sure my sound doesn't go over -1 dB, and I boosted it a little bit. And this is a cool thing that I'm currently trying out also from my Plugin Alliance pack, Adapter Streamliner. It's not that necessary for this video, but it's a cool plugin for when you release music especially. It will analyze your sound, and it will tell you your targets. So you have your targets for your LUF, LUFs, your LUFS, and I'm not going to try to tell you what that is, even though I understand what it is. I forgot the exact name, but it gives you a couple of targets, and it tells you what those targets are for instance, Spotify, or for Apple Music, or for Tidal, or for YouTube. It will tell you what it is supposed to be, or what the optimal levels would be. Because if you, for instance, take a track and you upload it to Spotify, if your track is, let's say, way too loud, not according to what they want, they're gonna lower your volume, change your settings, and that's not always what you want to have happen. So when you actually play your track, it's gonna be analyzing in the back. I changed a couple of things. That's why it's a little bit too loud right now. So I should lower it a little bit. And I think I did in the final version. Anyways, not necessary for this video at all. But again, I need to use my time to also experiment the plugins. So RC3, this is actually going live in about or online in about 30 minutes. It's the new Saturday sessions, and in this case, I was just going through some of the editing, how I edit the Saturday sessions videos. So this is the new one. Let's go. Let's go. So that's basically what I was looking at and showing right now. So yes, every time I release a Saturday Sessions video, there's going to be the beat that's there to download, and the more advanced DJs can submit. And it's going to be like this. I'm going to release the Saturday Sessions this Saturday and 2 weeks ago. And next Saturday, I don't have a Saturday session, so that's when I release the video. That's going to be the Saturday Sessions featured DJs. Now, for that first one, it was just you, because some DJs were just not paying attention or too late. And I think a couple more will step up once they start to realize this is an ongoing thing. I did receive another video, but that was just not good enough, like skill wise. And I'll put more emphasis on that. Like being featured on my social media and especially on my YouTube channel is something I want to do for the more advanced DJs. And they don't have to have the highest skill level, but it can't be a video with someone just doing baby scratches and not even staying on beat all the time. That doesn't make sense for me to post that on the channel. I might add certain people like that to a super session if they only have they only mastered like a basic skill, but this is something else. So hey man, if people are sleeping, you might still be the one again for the next edition, and that's not my problem. I mean, you do dope things, and I want to give more DJs the shine, but they have to step up and step in and deliver. So yeah, the beat is going online, and a scratch tool. So the Let's Go that I'm using in this video is also going is also uploaded. Now you don't have to use that. You can use your own sounds for your own scratch video, but a lot of people were asking me the last time about the Hey sound I use. So I'm releasing a tool now on SoundCloud that has the Let's Go and Hey in there, so people can use that. So actually, I have it goes. I've set it to schedule, so it will appear on YouTube in 27 minutes, and I actually still have to make the thumbnail. So while we're talking, I'm gonna open up Photoshop. Now, for people who just tuned in, why I'm looking around the camera is because I'm trying to see my computer screen, and the camera is blocking a little part of that screen. So here's the camera. My monitor is right behind that. So I needed to find Photoshop because I still have to make a thumbnail. So what I'm going to do to make the thumbnail is I'll just take a screenshot of the video and just paste that into my template that I have for my Saturday sessions thumbnails. Let's see. I'll share the screen with you in a second. I have to just adjust this for a sec. Where is the other one? Okay, there we go. Let's see. I should be able to share this with you as well, because that's what this podcast is all about, sharing screens. Hold up. So we're just going to take the machine screen, and now I'm going to say machine is out, and I want Photoshop. So we're taking Premiere out. We saw, oh no, actually we're not. Let me do that first. I need to take one screenshot of myself. So normally when I do that, either I'll open a video player, or for instance, in this case, I prefer to do it here because now I can just turn the logo off and have a clean shot of me or of my screen. And I'm actually just going to take this, but I do want to have my hands on there. Take that to full. And I have to make my screen a little bit bigger. I want to have a little bit of a bigger screenshot. So bang, let me just take that screenshot for a second. All right. So bye-bye Adobe Premiere. No, you don't need to save that. All right. Got to do one thing. If y'all have any questions, you can get that in there. Sakura, what up? What's going on? I see you on Twitch. I quickly have to just crop that that screenshot I just took so I can get it into Photoshop. So hold up. Let's do that. Crop. There we go. Save photo files. That's the new success. Wow. My GoPro just made 200 beeps. I have no idea why. And it turned off again. So yeah, I might have to, and it just turned on again. Look at that. So yeah, I might have to go and get a different GoPro. This one might have just seen the end of its life. There is definitely a possibility. All right, TK, what up? Let me open up Photoshop real quick. There we go. Let's move Photoshop a bit. Over there. Okay, my picture is in a weird place, but hold on. We can move me around a bit as well. I want to go back to my corner right there. Yes. All right, you're going live on Twitch today, RC3. Yeah, I that might be. I'll take a look at the email to see if that link was in there. Yeah. You go on at 6 in Texas. What time is it in Texas now, right now? Because then we can know the difference. If you let me know that. Mixology Live, the follower count and the live hours is actually that one right there. I think I did that on Twitch, if I'm not mistaken. It's an overlay that is on there. Okay, it's 11:40 where you are. It is 6:40 p.m. over here. So there's a 7-hour difference. Or yeah, it must be morning where you're at. So we're 7 hours ahead over here. So you're yeah. LA is like 9 hours behind compared to us. New York is like 6 hours. So you're 7 hours. Got you. So you're 11:40. I'm 18:40. So Mixology, I think that's Twitch. I think I added it from there. Let me see what the overlay is called in my screen for a second. No. Actually, I think I did this in Stream Elements. So I use Stream Elements. This is also OBS Live, Stream Elements, OBS Live, and I think I got this from there and then added it as a layer. And with Stream Elements, I go to the website, I can add stuff, and then it just gives me a URL, so I can add it as a browser layer inside OBS. And they have a couple of different like follower counters and stuff like that. I just wanted to add small elements. Same with the rotating social media thing happening over here. Like normally my picture will be on top of that. And yeah. Frank White, that's why people play at 1 p.m. I think it's the best time to reach most countries. See, it all depends. I know a lot of DJs in the Netherlands who kind of just built like a fan base within this country, and they're really catering to people here. And for other people, it's different times. Yeah, see, for me, it's tricky. I know sometimes might work better for certain countries, but then I have to go on at strange times because I don't know if like 1 p.m., you're talking 1 p.m. for you, right? So you're Frank White. That's New York, right? Oh, yeah, NYC. So are you talking 1 p.m. your time? So let me know that. So it's different. I see different people coming on at different times. And yeah, salute to you, by the way, Frank White. All right, so Photoshop. That's the last thing I'm going to do, by the way. Then I have to get into my my podcast. I have to actually record a podcast. But this is Photoshop. This is a template I use. I use normally for my YouTube videos for this year. So I changed the template a couple of times. So in this case, it has just a small yellow beam on this side. It's going to have like a little title here. This tells you what it is. So that changes for every video and just a screenshot. So I have to, first off, I have to enter, let's see, I have to be in creative, and then I have to go to photo files, I think. Took a screenshot right there. All right, so let me double check if I was in. Okay, that's a 1080. So then I have to make sure the photo has the right size. And right now it doesn't. So let's make that sure that's 1080. Thank you. Just gonna copy that so I can get it in here. And I did the same thing with like the Saturday sessions. I use this for the podcast, and if I'm not using it for the, oh, that's my cam. Come back. The week before that, it was for my Saturday session. So then it had this photo right there. And then I just have to change what says podcast, and I change that to whatever the video is. So in this case, it is the scratch session. And I believe I actually called that a scratch session in the in that thumbnail. I'm going to double check. I have to make sure I put the same thing in. No, it said interactive. I remember now. So I have to change a couple things. I have to add this photo. And then I have to go to the word podcast and turn that back into interactive. Now, of course, that's a different size. It's a bigger word. So we have to move the word a bit. And that yellow background is also way bigger. I just have that outside of the screen. Add that interactive. And then that part's good. And I think that was actually the only thing I added for this. I didn't have like a text in there that sat like Saturday sessions. Now, looking at this again, I don't like this shot that much because this is a little bit blurry. But I'm going to just save it for now. I might change that thumbnail later because I actually need to upload a thumbnail because I have 15 minutes before that video goes out. So let me just quickly share that. So that is Saturday session episode 2, but it's not going to be PSD. It's going to be a PNG arch file. All right. Raul Hernandez, what's going on? I see you, man. Yeah, so pretty basic. I just try to keep it uniform. So if you look at my channel, I want you to be able to see just by looking at either interactive or podcast that at a glimpse, you can at least already see what kind of video it is. And the picture might also give you an idea. So if you see a DJ set and 2 hands, you can imagine that it's probably going to be a scratch video. And then the title will handle the rest. I know that you can reach more people if you do certain things when it comes to thumbnails, make them more catchy, but that also takes up more time, which I currently don't have. So that's something that will come later. Same thing with titles. I know certain type of titles might get more attention. I know certain people are pretty quote unquote good at coming up with these clickable titles, even though it's not really a thing I like to do because a lot of times it's not clickbait, but it's, I don't know, to me kind of cheesy, but I understand why certain titles can work. So I'm not knocking anyone. Everyone has to do things the way they want to do. But for me personally, I mean, it is still, this is not a different person that you see here online. This is me. So whatever I do on a channel, however I present myself, it's me. And if a certain style doesn't fit me, even though I understand that it could be something that will get more clicks, it's hard for me to change and do that because, like I said, it's me. But for certain DJs, that works really great. I can tell, like, I can see certain titles and see, like, okay, it gets the clicks. So yeah, that's finished. So all I have to do is go to YouTube, upload that because the rest is already done in this session. So while I'm talking to you, I'm actually going to do that real quick because currently it isn't there yet. So let me just add that real quick. And 2 more things I have to do. I've already uploaded the video to SoundCloud, but currently it's private. So the beat that people can use. So RC3, no, it's already uploaded. It's been uploaded, but it's going public in 13 minutes. So it's still private right now. So you can't actually see it. So that gives me that little bit of time now that I can add my thumbnail and get that in there. If I can find the thumbnail. Whoa, that's a lot of things. But it'll be live in 10 minutes. So I have to make sure that right before the video goes live, I also go to SoundCloud and go to the beat. That's also set to private, set it to public. Same thing with the sounds. So it's in SoundCloud, but it's private. So within the next 5 minutes, I'm going to make the beat and the sound public. So the first thing I'm doing now is just adding the thumbnail to the video. Oh, it says the thumbnail is a little bit too big. Oh, really? Okay. I might have to, yeah, I'll know what I'll do. So PNG. And this is the wrong folder. I want to do this here. So within the next 12 minutes, it will be live. Yes. So it's going to tell me that it's already there. I want to replace it, but now we're going to go for the smallest file. That's going to take longer to save, but that's okay. All right. In the meantime, I'll open up SoundCloud. So I have to do two things. I have to go to YouTube, and I'm actually there right now. And I have to copy the link to the video, because on SoundCloud, I have to, so no checkmate. No, it did not work. I've already done that. I did it separately in the media encoder, and it does the exact same thing. It just does not process at all. And I uninstalled Premiere, uninstalled Media Encoder, reinstalled them, and it still didn't work. So either something is happening within that project that's messing up, because it did it on two computers. But what bugs me is that it did work on my old computer, not even through Media Encoder. On my old crappy computer, it worked just in Premiere. So I have all that in there, and I thought of that too. I was like, okay, something's going on with Premiere. Let me just go to the media encoder and do it through there. And it didn't work. That's what messed me up. I was like, this should definitely work. And then it didn't. All right. So RC3, you're on Twitch now. Oh, I see you're on Twitch. Yeah, you just switched. So what I'm going to do here is on SoundCloud, I'm now going to add the link to the YouTube video, even though the video isn't live yet. Save changes. And do the same with the scratch tool. So you can't see that. You'll have to give me a second. I have to add that real quick. And I have to do the same thing with episode 1 for that sound. So then I'm going to make the scratch tool visible. Yeah, RC3 in YouTube, you can just set a schedule. So you can upload a video. Once you have it uploaded, you can either choose to leave it private, make it public, or you can also do scheduled. And if you do scheduled, then you can add a date and a time. And in my case, I just added today and a time. So 7. Now you could do it like that. You could also make it a premiere. And if you do that, then you're also letting people know, like, hey, it's going to go live at that time, and I'm going to be watching it with you. So yeah, that's also a thing. Let me save this real quick. I got to get my end screen in here. Leon, what's going on? So that is set. So yes, and it's actually what is supposed to happen this year is that I'm going to have content ready for a week or two. Not every video, but a couple of the videos, have them ready in advance and already uploaded, so that you know for a fact that, hey, coming Thursday, that video is going to go live by itself. I don't have to do anything. So yes, that is the main point of it. And that can really help you out in certain situations. Copy link. All right, I'm going to add this link, and boom, I'm going to... So the scratch tool is public now. Oh, what's going on? Okay, I can't. Cool. This should be public now. Let's see. Did it work? Did it work? Yes, the scratch tool is public, and I'm going to do the same thing with the beat now. Set that to public. There we go. All right, so the new Saturday Sessions beat and the scratch tool have just gone public on SoundCloud. So they are there. And what I'm going to do now, since I have a couple of minutes left, I'm going to, it's scheduled, the video, but now I'm going to set it as a premiere because I'm going to go there. I'm going to stop this stream and I'm going to go check out YouTube in 7 minutes to be there live for my Saturday Sessions video. So I'm going to set that right now. Premiere. Why don't I see the... Oh, yeah, the new thumbnail isn't in there yet. Hold up. It's coming down to the wire. Only 7 minutes left. I never mind those little stressy situations. DJ Husky, thank you. I see you. And salute to you. Saturday Sessions. Now it should work. This shouldn't be bigger, right? Okay, whatever. The thumbnail's too big. I'll change that later. I'll take a look at Photoshop and what's going on. I don't understand why this is still too big. This should be fine. But somehow it's still too big. So I might have to change the resolution on the photo, I think. So I'm gonna end this stream and I'm going to go into that into YouTube to be there for my Saturday Sessions video, the new Saturday Sessions video that's going live in a sec. Yeah, this one's perfectly fine. So I don't understand what happened here. I'm going to just save it as a JPEG. That might work. JPEG, there you are. Back to the Creative Cloud. That's the wrong one. I'll explain that later. Bang. Thumbnail. Where is it? I need to change that name real quick. And then I have to be on YouTube in 4 minutes. Save. Yeah, that's perfect. Okay, got you. So we're going to close this because we don't need it anymore. Bye-bye. So here we are. Yeah, you got to get your stuff ready. Okay. King Beat, what's going on? You have a Twitch channel. If it's about music, can you follow me? Hey, Four Corners, what's going on, man? Can I follow you? It's about music. Here's the thing. I don't consume a lot of content. And if you've maybe seen me on other social media, I don't follow too many people or channels just because of that, because I found it to be an overload of content. It was getting to a point that it was just too much, just way too much. And that also means too much distractions from your own work. So I'm actually staying a little bit away from that. And that's no disrespect to anyone, but that's just the thing I noticed, that I don't actually want to follow too many people. So if I follow you, the follow doesn't really mean anything because I know I'm hardly going to check content. I have a lot of my buddies on here and I see their messages come in like, hey, they're going live. I'm like, damn, I don't have time to check like most of that or basically any of that. So that's why, to me, it doesn't make a lot of sense to do that. If you understand my my meaning. Okay, this is not working. Leave that. So DJ on the ones and twos. Nah, we did Machine. We went through making the beat for the Saturday Sessions video. Then I went to Adobe Premiere, going through the editing process for the Saturday Sessions video. And then I had on Photoshop for a sec just to show how I do a quick thumbnail for the Saturday Sessions video. And I'm going to stop this stream because in about 2.5 minutes, my Saturday Sessions video will go public on YouTube. And I'm going to be there for that first airing. So that's basically it. So this was Pluggin in. I'm going to be here every Sunday. And like I said, I'll be sharing my screen. Sometimes I'll work on a beat. Sometimes I'll check out plugins. Next week, most likely, I'll be taking my first real look at Ableton Live because I now have the full suite, and maybe test out some plugins as well. So whatever happens will happen. So I want to thank all of you for tuning in. And that's basically it. I gotta get off this stream, and then I'm gonna go to YouTube because in less than 2 minutes, my Saturday Sessions interactive scratch video will go live. So thanks for tuning in. And if you want to see me mix, I'll be here on Mixcloud and Twitch and Periscope tomorrow for Crates, the new edition. So check that out as well. All right. I'll give you a quick layer of that. And, oh, and I'm also on, that's not in this schedule yet, I'm also on Friday with a new episode of Certified Bangers, upcoming Friday. All right, Jumpstarter, everyone in here, thanks for tuning in. Hope you enjoyed this, and now you know what it is. Spread the word. Salute to y'all. And go to YouTube right now, youtube.com/DJTLMTV. Make sure you go to YouTube right now. Saturday Sessions starting in less than 1 minute. Peace.